So, one thing that stood out from our last video was a comment we received from caregivers. After we talked about why caregivers don't ask for help, some people shared very honest experiences. And one comment from Instagram actually mentioned that sometimes when people offer to help, they don't fully understand the reality of caregiving day to day. So when they see the pressure, the trauma, the constant demands, they can become overwhelmed and they will step back. Or, sometimes they just add to the burden for the caregivers because they're not really supporting or doing what the caregiver wants. And because of that, some caregivers begin to feel like it's easier to just handle everything themselves. Another comment from YouTube says something that resonated deeply. It's not just about getting help. It's about having the appropriate people helping. And when someone on YouTube shared something real about asking for help that felt like failing, like needing support meant that you weren't strong enough. And that kind of guilt is something many caregivers carry, So when you pull all of that together, the fear of being judged, the fear of disappointment, the fear of looking like you're struggling, it makes sense why many people just stay with whatever challenges they have. They stay silent even when they need support. And that's really why at Heart and Mind, we try to do things differently. When caregivers reach out to us or reach out to caregivers for support, the first thing we ask is simple. What do you need? We actually just don't jump in, assuming we know. Sometimes a caregiver might initially ask for laundry support. When we eventually arrive at their home, the most urgent need might be something else, maybe errands, maybe decluttering space that have been really overwhelming, organizing, or simply just helping the home feel manageable again. So our goal is not just to complete a task, our goal is to provide real relief before we leave. So because every home and every caregiver situation is different. So which leads to another important question we're going to be discussing. What is the emotional cost of caregiving when you don't, when you hold on to so much, What is the emotional cost of that over time? What does it cost you and your family? We're going to talk about that next.